This episode is sponsored by Robin Carter on behalf of Shelter Scotland. Hello and welcome back to Film Pro Productivity and Success, the podcast that helps film professionals and other creative people to live a more focused, effective and happy life. My name is Carter Ferguson and this is episode 102, Take the Easy Money. I think it's important never to look a gift horse in the mouth, never to overlook your talents and what you're good at. Jim Carrey, unquote. And today, folks, I want to talk about what I'll refer to as low-hanging fruit. It's what some people use to describe the most easily achieved of a set of tasks, of measures or goals, etc. And the phrase low-hanging fruit, because I know this is an international audience and sometimes I lose some of you, but the phrase low-hanging fruit was adopted from the metaphor of an abundant tree. On this imagined tree, there's a bounty of fruits covering its branches from the very top to the drooping bottoms. And when looking at the tree, it's obvious that the fruits resting on the bottom branches are the easiest to reach and grab hold of. And it doesn't take much effort to take these low-hanging fruits. However, they are most likely to be rotted and susceptible to the elements, meaning that although it's easy to get, it possibly isn't going to be the best piece of fruit that's on the tree. And alternatively, of course, the fruits at the top of the tree are a bigger challenge, requiring a lot more effort and time to finally reach them. And once the effort to grab a ladder or scale a tree is made, it's found that these tougher to reach fruits are the most unharmed from nature's wrath and animals, etc., and the better ones to get hold of. The metaphor is used to describe people's ambitions, goals and actions, low-hanging fruit representing the simplest objective that someone can take on. It might not be difficult to achieve, but it doesn't award them as much in terms of outcome either. And the higher fruits represent goals that require fuller exertion to reach, but ultimately provide that person with a much more rewarding result. And there's two sides to my thinking on all of this, and both of them I think are worth talking about when it comes to productivity and success. And it came to mind this because I was overseeing my friends Jim and Debs the other week as we were working on a promotional video together for their seescotlandnow.com series, which you'll be able to find on Amazon. Although at the moment, or at least as I record it, and I'm batch recording today, for those of you that have listened to the episode on batching, that's what I'm doing. I've got 3 shows recording today. Let's see how it goes. But they're currently called Travel Scotland. And you can look them up on Amazon and watch them. And they're really excellent, really excellent stuff. But I'm doing a new thing with them. Really, I went to them because I'm learning a camera and I'm learning an editing software. And I wanted to shoot something documentary style. So I approached them about shooting one of theirs with them. And the thing that's come up is we're going to redo something they've done in the past. But as I got to talking about them, I realised that they'd shot quite a lot of new content, but hadn't actually got it all edited up yet, because they've really got a massive amount of it. I think they've got one whole one to do that's set on an island, and they've got another one which is the West Coast 500, which they've got to edit together, and that's, I don't know, maybe 7 or 10 days worth of travel they've got to do. These are 2 very big projects, and although Debs has done some preparatory work, and actually both of them have done preparatory work on both of these bigger projects, they've not got them completed, and they've not got them out there, and they're not making them any money. But as I was talking to them, I realised that the one that I was going to shoot with them was, as I say, it was one of their older ones, and they wanted to redo that one. And they've got about 40, I think, of these smaller ones. And one of the suggestions that I came up with, but it turns out they've already done one of, is that they take these 5-minute ones they've already done and shove them together into, say, half-hour or 1-hour episodes and release them in the meantime out onto Prime. Because at the moment, I think they're nowhere at the moment, but they had been on YouTube. They may still be there. But that's like an example of a low-hanging fruit. They've got these big projects that are going to take a lot of time. But I was thinking, editing these ones you've already completed together that are earning you nothing and firing them out there and seeing what comes back, watches equate to money in when you're talking about releasing on video on demand platforms, then that's really not a lot of work. They could probably produce, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these in maybe as little as one day. But more than that, a few other things come up. They've been shooting some fantastic, excellent drone footage along the way when they've been shooting the West Coast 500 and just in all of their more recent stuff. But again, they've not edited it all together. They've got these big projects, they're not fully edited. So we were actually looking around for other bits of footage to cut into something when I suggested that maybe they take some of the footage they've already shot, and rather than editing this big thing with it, which they will do somewhere down the line, they just go into their drone footage and upload it to one of these footage sites where you can buy footage. And just on a quick glance at this footage, there's 11 seconds of one video on one of these sites that I noticed, which wasn't even that great, but they were looking for £95 for the 4K download version of it, and they were looking for something like £39 for the 1080p version of it. So that was another kind of example of low-hanging fruit that I thought, really, these guys should be going for. I talked to them about it, and they have actually done a little bit of this already, but I'm really trying to push Jim to, before he takes on these bigger projects, to just grab a few opportunities with these smaller things that he's done as well, because I really think that taking, say, 20 clips of footage he's already shot and uploading them, let's just say it takes a day to do that, or 5 hours or 4 hours, whatever, they're going to be there. Just about the way video on demand works and with the way these footage selling sites works, he's got an opportunity to make money without trying. You know, if someone wants to watch it, they'll start watching it on the video on demand, and if someone needs a bit of footage, they'll just buy it. So just putting it up there is a very, very minimum amount of effort, but might start to see money coming in, maybe not every month. From the sections of drone footage that he's got, he might get 1 or 2 sales on them a year, but if one sale is £95, for minimal effort, he's beginning to get money in without even trying. So anyway, this is what started me thinking about low-hanging fruit. And it was my friend Ross talks about low-hanging fruit quite a lot. So I thought, I might do a wee episode on this. And that's why I'm here today. But anyway, in an article from Indeed.com, I also found these 4 benefits of going for low-hanging fruit as opposed to always thinking of the grand, higher goals, which I very often talk about in this show. And I hadn't considered some of them, so here they are here. The first one was, it'll help you to gain momentum. Small successes, it said, can help you generate energy in your career, build professional contacts, and expand your network. As you complete simple tasks at work, you can use the positive momentum from each success to motivate you towards future projects, because low-hanging fruit can typically guarantee success. And another thing they said was that it would provide rewards. Planning to complete reliable, easy projects on a regular basis is a way to reward yourself for working on other tasks. And every time you finish a difficult assignment, it says, you should consider switching to one of your simpler responsibilities that usually have good outcomes. And this can give you a mental reward and add variety to your workday. A third one it talked about was about sharing success, and that was taking low-hanging fruit style tasks, and if you're working in a team, spreading them throughout the team so that the team can work towards them and achieve them. And really it was a team building exercise. Not something I'd considered, but if you're working in teams, it's maybe worth thinking about that sort of thing. And finally, it also talked about building confidence. And every time you succeed, it said, every time you succeed in work, that is, it can build your confidence, because low-hanging fruit will involve regular, reliable success, and it consistently boost your confidence in your skills. So if you're having a hard day at work and you want to remind yourself of your abilities, sometimes choosing a project where you know you can thrive is a good way for you to review your fundamentals and become more self-assured. So that's just a wee dip in there to taking the easy money, which is something I think as creatives we should consider more often. We always, I think, make our lives a bit more difficult. But as fair warning, I should remind you of the words of Charles Spurgeon, who said that easy roads make sleepy travellers. So only chasing, low-hanging fruit is certainly not what I suggest you do with your lives, but it's not something worth completely ignoring either, especially when times are hard. But why do we insist as creatives in making things difficult for ourselves? That's a question I'll maybe return to on another episode. But do you have any low-hanging fruit that come to mind as I talk through this episode, that when things are slow, as has very often been the case in these COVID times, that you can grab hold of? If you're a photographer, for example, do you have some shots that you've taken in the past that are great that you can upload to another one of these image sites that somewhere down the line, random people will pay you to use? Is that something you've not considered, you've not done? Have you got skills that you could offer via a website or via social media in the form of consultancy? It's something I've considered and I've actually done a little bit of already in productivity terms. Productivity is something I have as a kind of side passion, but it's never been something I've looked at as a business. But that's starting to come into play now. And during the Indiegogo campaign, I can never say Indiegogo particularly well, but during that campaign, I made a few offers to people that they could buy into that. At the point I'm recording, I've got to say, I don't know how well the campaign has done. I'm sure it'll do pretty well. I've always done pretty well in the past, but maybe I could grab some low-hanging fruit just offering my skills in productivity as a consultant. You know, it's something worth considering. But I don't know what your job is, but perhaps you can think of something in your line that could be classed as low-hanging fruit. And what I would urge you to do is at least consider grabbing that on occasion, maybe just to give yourself an easy life after a tough period working on a larger goal, or maybe just to keep the money rolling in as you try other things. So that's enough for today. I'm still working on these shorter episodes. I find it difficult not to keep on going on and on about these things, but I'm just going to draw a line under that there. Next week's show is about finding the hole in your bucket, that one thing in life or work that is holding you back. So tune in to find out more on that one. But I will end now with a quote from Warren Buffett, who said, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Now take control of your own destiny, keep on shooting, and join me next time on Film Pro Productivity and Success. The executive producer on this season is David Richard Thompson, and the music that you're listening to right now is Adventures by Himitsu. You can follow this show on Twitter at FilmProProdPod or on Facebook at FilmProProductivity. Please do join us there. And there's also a full transcript of this episode and all of the others on the official website at FilmProProductivity.com. But please do continue to support the show by subscribing, spreading the word, and leaving an awesome review, preferably on iTunes. It seems to matter more there.